You want an investment edge, but all you hear is noise, hype, and half-truths. Every signal is solid information, but only if you can see the bigger picture. This is where the Quasar magic happens. Weather, charts, news, all financial signals funneled into a single dashboard. Data alone isn't enough. Quasar Markets turns it into energy, sharp, clear, precise. Optimize with Quasar Markets today. Your edge when investing.
Good morning, everybody. It's Quasar Markets Live. Here we go. Look, the markets are pumping this morning as the taco trade is back on. Trump now yesterday said that everything's good for the United States as long as you produce those chips right here in the United States. If you do not produce those chips here in the United States, ouch, 100% tariffs. Look, the tariffs are not working right now. We know that. They know they're bringing some money in right now, but all of a sudden, the market's starting to collapse a bit. Now, the markets themselves, the trading markets, are not. They're doing quite well here. They're holding up in the midst of all of this. But we're seeing, again, those numbers that just came out on unemployment popping up again. More claims coming in. We got to be very careful. The data around this is not better. It's getting worse. So let's be careful out there. But yesterday what I did, and I could bring it up for everybody here, but I was long, and I stayed long, right? I stayed long Uber overnight, and that was kind of the key right there for me. I felt that sometimes in these selling positions, when you're seeing that, is when you're starting to say, okay, I know I need to go forward and stay the course, right? So with me, when I saw Uber, and let me just do that for everybody so everybody sees what I'm talking about. I'll pull up a chart here. Share my screen. And I'll pull up Uber for everybody to see. Let me pull up a 1 hour chart. I'm going to make it easier for everybody to see. Yes, I know that I've got lots of charts on my screens. When we saw this happen yesterday, right, in the morning on the backs of that data, let me just show you. Let me go back a little bit. There you go. Every time that we've had a massive dip in Uber, we've had a push back up. See these sell buttons here? We've always had a buy opportunity. And I'm not seeing it yet. It's not throwing it out there yet for me. But this is what I did. I did not like the selling yesterday. As most of you know, I was long early in the morning. And it's about right here. And I thought that was the dip because right there was where I thought it was going to hold off. It did not. It closed that gap that was right here. And it fell even further in the morning. Now, we know that didn't happen. That was the craziness of the morning. But I kept buying all afternoon an Uber, and of course now I lowered my my position, and here I am. And so you can see here where we pushed right back up, and of course to today back to $90. So I am in the money already again. I expect this thing to continue to go on higher here today. And why? Because the narrative is not changed. The narrative here is alternative vehicles, a Waymo partnership, right? All these things, they kind of brushed it off. Oh, no big deal. I liked that brush off. So that was my thesis. Let's talk about thesis for a moment. I am made up thesis trading. That was kind of my my verbiage that I've used, and now it seems to be that everybody's using it on Wall Street right now. Why did I use the word thesis? Because nobody else was using it. That was the words that I used because that was my professor's words. Yesterday, I saw it from Jim Cramer saying, thesis trading is the way to go. Okay, well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. And in a lot of ways, I think a lot of people didn't understand what that meant. And I thought he did a good job of explaining it, meaning that you go from an idea hunch. He called it a hunch. I don't believe it's a hunch. I don't have hunches. I have ideas that I base it on the news. I base it on data. I don't think, oh, well, let me think about this for a second. I look at the markets in a lot different way. And this is what I'm trying to get everybody else to do too when they look at the markets. Look at it in a way that pertains to you. What do I mean by that? Well, if you do yourself a favor, read the book, Peter Lynch's book, One Up on Wall Street, you'll understand exactly what I mean by that. There's a story of what he has done, and he says he was in the grocery line one day, and he saw pantyhose. His wife was picking up pantyhose, and it was in the in those little counters where where you put your food on the conveyor belt, and they pick the conveyor belt, I take the food off, and in that was a little eggshell carton with pantyhose, and he talks about how he walked to each one of the aisles. They were all filled with Hanes pantyhose, and Hanes became his number 1 10-bagger because he saw women picking them up. It was indiscreet. Oh, you know what? I need pantyhose. I picked it up, put them in a cart, and did that. That is thesis trading. That, to me, is how it is. His idea did not come from some hunch. It came from an idea that if everybody is going to the Disney parks, then Disney's going to be strong. If everybody get these contracts at Palantir and the government, then Palantir is probably going to be very strong. If everybody has an iPhone in their hands, guess what? Probably a good idea. So what do we mean by that? Let's go deeper than that. It also means to do channel checks. I talk about this all the time here on the show. Channel checks means if I think about something, then I'm going to do something about it, right? Meaning I'm going to actually do my homework. I believe that people should go in there. Okay, if your idea is Disney is strong right now because of the parks, and you like the Hulu news that Hulu is going to take away their standalone app, and it's all going to be bundled into one Disney app. Awesome. Love that. That's smart movement on Disney's part, right? To put it all in one. So I'm not confused about, oh, do I have this? Do I have that? What is it that I'm looking at? So all of a sudden, I now know you know what? I ride an Uber. I have an Uber app. I take Uber. I use Uber Eats sometimes when I'm in the cities, right? I know it's working. People are taking Ubers. You see them on their phones. Uber must be okay, right? That's what I mean by thesis trading. So I really do like that. Seeing some news coming in here. It looks like Chainlink is now launching a strategic link token reserve. I'm hearing that report's now coming in. Love that. Wish Howard will be here in a little bit. Hopefully, he's out right now. I'm going to put that on the banner so you guys can see this as they come in. Oops. There you go. And so as we start to look at the markets a little bit closer here today. Okay, there we go. We're hearing reports that Amazon Web Services will now give the U.S. government agencies up to $1 billion in discounts. Looks like that and that's AWS, right? We use AWS here as well. You look here that you can probably see that these companies, including Apple yesterday, Tim Cook giving a gold medal to the president. I don't know. Okay, all coming in now, right? But at the same time, we all have to realize that that when you look at these companies in general, right, and you're looking at, in my case, I look at what R&D, I look at cash flow coming in. We already know that Warren Buffett has a massive cash flow. I think one of the companies that I'll be looking at this morning again is YUM. I know this one stock that I was very interested in this morning, and that was Eli Lilly. And I've been following Eli Lilly pretty close here. I'm going to pull up that chart so everybody can see that chart too. I'll share my screen. There you go. Eli Lilly. I'm going to pull up a daily chart on Eli Lilly. I'm very bullish on Eli Lilly. You can see, but here was these good news. I'm going to pull up a weekly chart. So there you go. Maybe good. I'm going to do a 3-hour chart. That's what Wall Street uses, right? We know that, right? We've been learning this today. 3-hour charts. But the news on Eli Lilly about their pill only doing 11%, not nearly as good on the weight loss, not nearly as good as the shot. So people are okay with the shot as long as that's what they're doing. So they're okay as long as the weight loss happens, right? So Eli Lilly to me is it very interesting on this pullback. Eli Lilly down quite a bit this morning. I think it's down about 5 or 6%. Yesterday, as we go back to Uber here, look at this, still pushing here, 90.17. Pull up a 1-minute chart, breaking out of yesterday. We know that was yesterday's. Probably get back up to about 91.50. That's where I'm thinking that we probably will be looking at. But 90.10, this really nice position here for those of you who followed me in and was watching the markets here. So I do like this a lot. I do like Uber. the market sentiment around Uber is also okay. Here we go. Howard Lutnick this morning says that the U.S. is likely to extend China for another 90 days. There you go. We've talked about the taco trade. Well, there it is. I know people don't like the political side of this. I don't like the political side of this. But we know that we can't trust what's being said, that things are being said and then pull back, and the art of the deal. Okay. But here you go. It's happening in real life in real time, and you can't make this up, right? So right there it is telling you that, the extending for another 90 days, that gives China time. Great. In my case, that's plenty of time for trying to get a deal. I do know that the president is meeting with Putin this week in regards to Ukraine, and then eventually we'll be meeting with Zelensky, and maybe we might have a deal there too. So if all of those things, all of those clarity issues happen, I'm a lot happier today. That's what I think. It's a good position today. Am I interested in the markets to the long side? I can say to you happily that I am not. I was asked last night my thoughts about the market this morning. I said up, for sure, up. Do not short this market right now. What do I think about the markets coming up? Definitely short the market, or definitely be short. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but these news headlines are just giving fuel to the fire for the short-term traders. Let me show you why. This is a hourly chart. We have not gotten back to that big sell signal way back there a few days ago. That's what I'm kind of expecting. If you pull up a day chart, I'll pull it up there for you so you can get a cleaner picture. You can see what they're shooting for up here, right? 575. This is the Qs. Obviously, the big tech is what's holding the markets up right now. That's why I'm using Qs. It's why I'm not using SPY right now. It's what's holding the markets up if you're long. But that gap was filled a couple of days ago. That big sell-off not too long ago that we were prepared for, right? See here, that sell-off, the sell-off. They've been closing gaps all the way up, and we're trying to walk that line a bit. I do like that a little bit if you're long. But I'm going to be honest with you, this market is frothy as can be. Palantir, I talked about that last few days. I still like Palantir. Way too frothy for my blood, as we talked about. I am not in Palantir. I will stay away from it. Why? Well, there it is. There's that big old what? Talk to me. I hear you all saying at the same time, gap. That gap will get filled. So expect that to happen. Okay, that gap will get filled at some point. Yeah. All right. Let's get right to it. I'm looking over here. I'm going to change out my screens a little bit. Kaboom. There we go. Keep my screen. I got several screens. Everybody knows if I'm looking around, that's because I've got lots of screens. 38.38 right there now on silver. We've talked about silver so much. I'm probably my blood's probably turning silver. Why? Because when the silver market fell not too long ago, what am I doing? I'm not seeing gold commercials on TV. Right? I still see gold pushing higher. 33.94 is the price of gold right now. 34. Why? Because if all of these things that are happening, right? If all these good pieces of news are happening, then there's your answer, right? Oh, look at that. Uber pushing higher, 90.30 now. I agree with that. And when you look at light sweet crude here, 64.39 a barrel. All right. If the economy is doing so wonderful, why isn't oil at $70 a barrel? Because why? Because people are moving around the country. FedEx is moving the trucks. Cars are moving. People are going to work. It's not happening, right? You're starting to see more people losing their jobs. Just be careful out there. The theses that I've been talking about aren't happening, right? They're right in front of us, right? The narrative of the long saying, we're going to get a cut. Yeah, you are in September. You're hearing that from the Fed governors. We're going to get one. You're hearing the president talk about, I'm going to appoint someone temporarily to fill a position so they can be in there so that I can make my plans for the chair. Powell's gone. All right. So we're going to see more and more cuts. Why? He's saying it's data dependent. All right. Well, he fired the data person for BLS. All right. So all of these things you have to take into consideration when you're investing. And look, in our markets, and I'm thinking about the good old days, right? Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when good news was good news and bad news was bad news, when markets were good, the dot-com bubble, right? That was weird, right? People were just buying willy-nilly stocks. Trust me, I bought Netscape and Pets.com. I was back there because I believed the hype. The hype was, okay, .com is coming. It is coming. And we live it every day. Not a day goes by that we don't live in the internet. But what happened was it started to, not all the companies were going to stick around. Does anybody know what the number one company was for wireless mobile back in the day? It was MCI. MCI is not even around, right? Verizon was not even on the scene. T-Mobile wasn't even a thought process. But was wireless internet coming? Was wireless mobile coming? Yes. Yes, and it was hot, but it wasn't around. It was around, but it wasn't like it is today. Now we have AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. There's in Sprint, barely. I don't even know Sprint's not even around anymore, right? So there's your answers. So what do I mean by all of that? What are you saying, Steve? What are you saying, Big B? Well, okay. Here we are in quantum computing, the very beginning. Here we are with AI. Some of the companies that you're seeing and looking at and you're betting on and you're putting your hard-earned dollars into might not be around. They might not be around. So be careful when you're investing. What do you need to do? Go back to basics. The first thing I said to talk about, right, was do your channel checks. Are you using Perplexity? Are you using OpenAI? Yes? Great. What are they doing? Talk to me. Tell me in 3 sentences what they're doing so that you explain to me like a 5-year-old, right? Because if you can explain to me like a 5-year-old, then you can explain to anybody, right? And yes, I mean, I understand the market's probably better than 99.99% of the people that are in the markets. But that's not what's going on because I'm not the only one in the market. You are. Everybody's in the markets today, right? And when you're in the markets and you're investing, look, even people that are not, lots and lots of cash, they're still buying shares. By the way, I heard a lot of people talk about the microtransactions that are happening, fractional shares. That's not happening, folks. It's a very small part. And a lot of companies are already doing away with microtransactions and fractional shares because it's silly, right? But guess what else is sticking around and doesn't take as much margin? And that's zero DTEs. So you're seeing that volatility. Now, the volatility is slowing down in the summertime. We know that. Why? Because we talked about it for several times. What do we call it? The summer doldrums. Right? That's the technical term that all of us old-time traders use, right? The doldrums. We're in the doldrums. We're in the dog days of summer. Volumes dries up. What does that mean? It means that they can usually, big boys can push this thing around. So be careful there, especially in the crypto market. What happened in the crypto market? A lot of people were short. Oh, I'm going to say short. I think we're going to go to 5,000 of Bitcoin. That's silly, right? Guess what? All those shorts just got just ruined. What if I told you that institutions are at the most ever shorted in history? The market is the most shorted in history right now by volume and by amount of money. Yep. The most shorted. Guess what happens even in down markets to the upside are some of the biggest swings to the upside. They catch those things off kilter, right? The mispricing and pricing. If you've got so many people that are shorting, right, and they're waiting for the market to go down so they can pick it up, well, they get nervous and a little bit of good news comes in, boom, they get caught, right? That falling knife becomes the limit orders getting lifted, right? Because they're protecting themselves, which is good. They should be protecting themselves. But then that pushes the market up. And then it gives people false hope that the market's going to go back up. And then guess what? The institutions sell again. So be careful in down markets. Even in up markets, the down direction also happens the same thing, right? If it's so weighted to one side, there's going to be a catch up, and sometimes they catch up very, very, very quickly, right? So be careful in these, especially in what? Low volume, especially what? In dog days, doldrums. All of these things are happening. All of the news that we're looking at is happening. When you hear the headlines and Trump tweets and all of these things that we had to prepare for are now happening, got to be prepared. Got to be careful out there, right? So I'm telling people right now, just be careful out there as these things move forward. And we're looking at the next level. Look at that. Uber still pushing higher. We talked about that this morning. So be careful out there on this. But this is what I meant, right? So all of these normal things that we're seeing, we're putting together a narrative, a thesis. That's not a hunch. Now all of a sudden, it's not a hunch, Jim. It's an actual thesis. You're putting together a complete playbook for yourself. You're saying, I understand this stock or this market because I've followed all of these pieces. That's what Quasar Markets does, right? We put all of this data into one place so that you can see the markets way more clear than you are. News, not just one news source. Data, Google Trends, not just one trend, several trends, because several trends interact with other trends, right? That's what it happens. That's why you got to be prepared, right? You may be all excited about quantum computing, and I am, but it may not be the quantum computer that you get excited about, because it may end up being the next MCI. That's what I'm trying to tell people. When I look at this market and the general direction right now, I do not see the mispricing of what? I hear y'all saying at the same time, mispricing and pricing, right? The mispricing and pricing right now. What is it? Meaning that stocks or equities or futures or crypto or whatever that you're investing in is one-sided, right? It's you believe that you're buying something or you're shorting something because you think that the price is either going to go higher or lower. Mispricing or pricing. You think it's mispriced. That's why you're investing or not, or you're shorting because you think the price is wrong. Great. That's what sets the market up. Now, what makes a difference? It's the people that are in it. It's the institutions, the retail, the average trader who doesn't really know what they're doing. The young person who just got their Robinhood account. Great. Awesome. They still need to learn, something to understand. And no, I promise you, 1 year of learning the markets is you're not a master of the market. I saw someone the other day posting that they're a market whiz because they have some new algorithm. Great. We make algorithms like candy around here. You're not a market wizard after 1 day or 1 year or 10 years. Some of us have been in this game 3.5 decades now. I'm still not a market wizard, right? I'm still not. I still learn things every single day, right? But I take what I've learned and I learn more and more and more. And as the market changes over time, but I was looking at the markets today. I'm looking at, oh, you know what? There are times in history where these things happened. And guess what? You now have AI to look at those things. All right. Tell me, AI. Tell me, when are other times of periods of life that was like this? In my days, I had to go back and do the homework and pull the paper out. Remember the old Wall Street Journal? And they had to go look at the data and all that. We don't do that anymore, right? The internet came around that made things a little bit easier. Okay, I see the charts. Today, you can look at different time periods, and yes, the past is not indicative of the future, but it sure smells like it. Smells like a lot of times in the past. Just said .com. Well, no, this is not like .com because this is different. That's right. Yep, there are little nuances they're different. It is a lot like the .com. And what's going to happen here? Things are going to be really weird. It'd be like, oh, where'd that company go? They're going to be blown away. Look, I think I've said it quite frequently that I think Apple isn't innovating. They're spending too much time making lucite and gold plaques for the president, right? Or foldable phones. Samsung already did that. Start to innovate, right? If you don't innovate, you're going to go away. Oh, but Apple's a huge company. That's a multi-trillion-dollar company. I can name several multi-billion-dollar companies that went away. Several. I mean, I can just start naming them. Names you probably don't even know because you don't remember them anymore. And that's why, right? Because those companies didn't innovate. They didn't stick with it. What if I told you Apple went bankrupt not once but twice? What if I told you that in Apple's case, Bill Gates bailed them out not once but twice? No, I didn't have it. Yeah, it did. Go look it up. You have the internet. You have AI now. Go look it up. This is what I mean when I'm saying protect yourself, be prepared, because we are in those kind of doldrums. We are in that thesis trading right now, stating this very, very fact. But this is happening. So, okay, be careful out there is all I'm saying. Protect your portfolio, whether that's VIX calls, whether that's, putting limit orders in your stocks so you don't, those stocks don't become, those trading stocks don't become positions, long-term positions. Be careful out there. All right, well, give me something to talk about, Steve. Well, okay, great. Okay, Big B will give you one right now. Intel, INTC. Let's talk about Intel. What happened today? President did something that I don't really agree with. And this one really kind of got me this morning. And I know that it's being talked about quite handily. And I'll pull up Intel's chart for everybody here. He said on the air that for some reason, and he believes that we should, and I don't really understand it, that we need to replace the CEO, that he should resign. The president of the United States getting involved in business matters of that nature is highly irregular and not normal. Do I agree with the president and that the Intel CEO should resign? Yes, I do. I think this company has been mismanaged. There's no reason a company as strong and powerful as Intel. Oh, wait, another company, a multi-billion-dollar company that could go away. There you go. This is a prime example, right? So I don't agree with the president in his charge of that, telling that a private company what to do. That to me is a separation that should always happen. The business world leaders should advise the president. The president should not tell them how to run their company. But I don't disagree with the president. I think he's actually right. And when you, yes, Ron says Trump is highly irregular. And that's right. And as a thesis trader, we need to make sure that we understand that we understand what he's doing. And because of that, Intel right now is down, 8% here in the morning trade. So I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not the way that he came across with this. Should he have sent this through some we call surrogates in Washington? Yes. Saying, look, the president is not happy with this. But look, I like what's going on here. 1947 on Uber for those of you who are playing at home. I'm loving this a lot. So I need to get my own house in order. So give me 1 second here as I begin to do my own thing here and trading, because I'm loving this Intel move here. I'm sorry, not Intel, Uber move here quite heavily, right? Remember when Lyft was a big deal and it was gonna take down Uber? Guess what it didn't do, right? That's what I mean by that, right? So there's a lot of things here that I do like. I'm gonna try to put my orders in here. So. There we go. Okay, so let's get back to it. If you have a stock out there that you're interested in knowing about or looking at, I'm happy to pull these up today. I'm in a what I don't normally do is my technical phrase. I love it. I love technical trading charts. I will tell you that in the last 3 months, your charts were worthless. People can say, "Oh, well, my charts made me a ton of money." Well, okay, maybe they did, but the charting technical analysis wasn't really the most popular. It wasn't really what you should have been using. We talked about this, right? It was news and headlines that moved the markets, right? Right now, what's moving the markets, because the doldrums, all these things I've just been talking about. Because of that, you're seeing the back of technical trading, and I like that. All right, I'm going to pull up the Intel chart again, and let me show you. See what I'm showing for myself. What am I missing here? There it is again. There's that big gap. So there's some meat on the bones here. There's a 10-20% move here on Intel. Could very easily happen very quickly, especially if Intel does dump the CEO. That could be very interesting to me. So be careful out there. I do like this play. You can start to see some of the movement here. MACD is really strong here on several different levels here. So I am liking that. We'll pull one of these off for you so you can get a clearer picture. There you go. Woody CCI, I think, is right now is really strong here. Linear regression, I've said put linear regression on your charts. I also think that's a good thing here too as well. But this right here, this is huge. This chart, this gap, that is sharp. Sharp. That tells me a lot. And you're seeing the direction of Intel this morning. So let's see where we end up this morning with Intel. For those of you who were playing along with me over the last few days, you know that there's a day chart. You know I pulled up. Okay, markets are open here. I am pulling up QQQ for everybody. There you go. Markets are pushing a little higher here to the upside. And let's pull up, because I know that's what I'm playing, making sure that everybody's happy. And if you know it, show it. There it is. Everybody should be happy this morning. I gotta make a move here. Apologize for everybody because this is a big position, and I want to make sure I'm on the right side of this position. Oh, okay, never mind. I am out of my position at $91 a share. That is a big position here. As yesterday, I got out at $91 this morning. I will tell you that to me was a pretty good move. Thank you for everybody that was out there that was listening to me. Share screen, I'll pull it up again so we can see it. There you go. I want to pull up a 1 minute chart on that open. What did I do? I had limit orders in, and I liked that limit order at the beginning, and now the selling is coming in. So I don't really care which way the market goes now. I made my move. You saw me do it yesterday. You saw me hold and stick and buy more. That was quality movement, right? That I felt Uber was beaten up way too much, and here we are. So, okay. Anybody got any stocks out there? Ron, I know you've got a stock that you're always interested in. So talk to me about what you got this morning. Give it to me, and I will look at the charts as well for you. Anybody have anything out there? Any comments to say? Hey, if you do me a favor, retweet this, repost this out. I'm looking forward to seeing Howard. Hopefully he can come back today. He quit. No, I'm just kidding, folks. He's fine. Howard is awesome. He's been my friend for many, many years. He should be back here. BMNR. Let's get to it. All right, BMNR, Bitmine. I do like Bitmine, as everybody knows. Let's flip a weekly chart. I think Bitmine, and you heard Tom Lee talk about Bitmine this morning. Look, he thinks that Bitcoin's going higher. I agree with him on this. And if that's the case, they're going to do very well. I do like all of their, but be careful, because guess what? Cathie Woods got involved here back in July the 22nd, which is this big old wick here, and then everybody dumped on her. So just be careful out there as you watch this markets. But I do think that Bitmine Immersion Technologies should push up even more. Bitcoin, we'll keep our eye on Bitcoin and the dollar here. It's at 116.5. For those of you who are playing at home with me, I bought Solana on that dip around 162, 163, 164, that area. I dumped at 171 in the overnight as Bitcoin was going up, and moved all of my Solana back into Bitcoin. So I've now got a bigger trading pile now on Bitcoin. So you can see it. I was pretty happy about my Bitcoin move. Disney popping right back up. We'll pull up a 1 minute. We'll pull up a 10-second chart so we can get a good idea. Look, anything that's being bought right now is being sold off. So just be careful out there. You can see some of the stocks that I have been looking at. Unity Software, you saw that big sell-off. I'll pull up a 1 hour chart. Kaboom, there was the big sell-off. We understand that was the quarterly adjusted loss, 26 cents. But they were expecting 32-cent loss. So there you go. They're making more money, and I'm seeing Unity now everywhere. So they're working hard, and I get that, right? I like this move here. If you look at a daily chart, that thing did not get down to the lines that I wanted to get down to, but got it pretty close. And you can see where the bifurcation there is going on. Pull up Mickey D's. All right, let's talk about Mickey D's. We talked about it yesterday. I do like McDonald's because I do like. I have not liked McDonald's. Let's pull up a weekly chart. Why? Because I talked about it from the food aspect of things, but I missed the thesis on the kids, right? Happy Meals. Kids don't care about the food taste. They care about their apple slices and their hamburgers, and they love their toys. So there you go, and that crossed back over that Rubicon, which is what that gap. So they did that too as well. Apple getting another pop here to the upside here, now up 2%, as Tim Cook bent the knee in the White House in the Oval yesterday. So there you go. Yeah. Riot, another one up as well. Look, the president is giving you all the answers. Riot platform is up 5%. Look, the president gave you the go ahead on this, as they've signed now orders on their the alternative assets in 401k plans. That means grandma and grandpa and mom and dad can now buy crypto in their 401k plans and can trade it without any taxes. So that's interesting right now. We're going to keep our eye here on Intel. Yeah, look at that. Intel now only down 0. I said it, right? That was my thesis. That the Intel was, the selling on Intel was a little bit too much. I didn't like it. I thought that was dumb. There it is. If you paid attention to me this morning, you've already made about 5% of your money, already 10% of your money. I didn't get a chance to do it because I was already making my 10% on my Uber there. I was pretty heavy, as everybody knows here. All right, talk to me. What else you got there, Ron? What else you got? PayPal beating on earnings this morning as well. PayPal, kaboom, kaboom. There you go. Just not really much of a move there. I'm not a big fan of PayPal here like this. PayPal is slipping in a lot of ways, including usage of PayPal. I do like their crypto space on this. Will it get back here to the 80s? Maybe on the crypto space, but I just don't see it right now. All right, as Mr. Hondo would always say, don't fade the Musk. Musk is now slipping a bit here, as I can tell you right now. I'm going to change my lines here. I don't like this line. I'm going to pull it to here. We're going to tighten the lines up a bit for us, right? Just so you guys understand what I'm doing, I'm laying the lines on the bottoms, correct? You understand that? So higher bottoms, and that's what you're getting. This is what you're seeing right now. You're starting to see a little bit of this. So we'll tighten this line up for you so you can get a clear picture. There you go. That's what's happening. You're seeing a flag. So to me, okay, you want to see Shopify. Yep, agreed with that. Shopify is doing okay. I like Shopify. I think it's getting a little too rich for my blood up here, but that's just me. Oh, there's a big sell signal there on Shopify. Kaboom, kaboom. So I'm going to pull up a 1-minute chart on Shopify. I'm feeling that this is a sell here. Yeah, it looks like it's what we're happening. Yeah, we're seeing sell signals all over on Shopify. Yeah, look at that big sell signal up there. Wow. Is Bitcoin still pushing here? Yeah, it is. There's 1 hour still pushing. Could go back up to 119 here pretty quickly. Do like this breakout here on Bitcoin in the technical side of things. All right. Wow, what a morning, huh? What a morning. For those of you who are out there, I clearly ask you to do me a favor. Yeah, we can do that, APLD. Go to our Twitter page. If you want, do me a favor too. Click on that, hit that like button there for me, and make sure that you're following me here on my page. It's qmbigbeat.com. I'll give you that page. You can see us live, huh? And then also, if you go to Quasar Markets page as well, give us a like there too. Give us a follow. We'd love that. We are growing very fast, closing in on 130,000 followers. I appreciate all of you out there for this. This is really good. That means you guys are liking what we're doing. I appreciate that. We work very hard here to give you that. And I'll let you guys know, quasarmarkets.com. So let's just go to quasarmarkets.com. There you go. And you'll see the new website just came out yesterday. We're working on a newer page, which should be out next week. Yeah, that's how fast we're moving. We're not moving every second. We're moving every second of the day. I mean, it's crazy. And I love this. This is the new site. New platform is coming out as well. You can see all the new features. Education platform is already done. We'll show you all that fun stuff. Quasar Markets Live. Here we are, right? And then you can also see that I have a new website, and we'll start to talk about that soon as I move out there too as well. But my website out there, make sure that you check this one out too, as you can get a good media kits will be out there soon as well. But I appreciate everybody and what everybody here is doing. I really do. Trust me, I've been in this market a very long time, and I really do appreciate all the follows and the love out there. All right, let's get to it. My man Ron is asking about Affirm. I do like Affirm, and I do like SoFi. I have changed my mind on both of these, Affirm and SoFi, both starting to take down the stalwarts of Wall Street, the big banks. They're not doing nearly as well as these companies, and this is a stock that is also pushed by Shopify. Right, those two work hand in hand. And AP LD, yes, of course. Applied Digital, again, I do like Applied Digital. Again, I think that it might be over its skis a bit here. You can see it's very well, these Charlie horses, sorry, good old fashioned old comments in the old days. Charlie horses, what are Charlie horses? All right, so Charlie horse is that thing that knot you get in your back of your leg, right? And you've been run too much, kaboom, that's a Charlie horse. See those dips, those like that. Every time a dip gets sold off, it buys, but it also gets sold off. So that's a Charlie horse, right? Boom, Charlie horse in the markets. See that big round thing. So be careful with this Charlie horse here. This one might be a sell signal here too as well. Not seeing the sell signal yet, but it's getting close. And you can see where some people are actually selling a little bit here. Yeah. Loving all this again. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin still holding up here. Not much of a move, but I do like this move here. I do like this move to the upside. A little bit of selling there as we got to look at that. Almost got to 116.7. Look at that. It's a profit taking, and understandable. I understand the profit taking. I get it. I just wouldn't be short this market. It's just the crypto market is just too strong right now. There's too many institutions still buying out there. If they're telling you to sell, I promise you, they're buying. Be careful out there. I'm buying every dip out there. I think people are looking at Ethereum, right? Look at that. I mean, people were complaining about, I was trying to sell at 4,000. Well, okay, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the 4,000 handle. I mean, look at that. Right? Did you buy the dip? Did you get scared? Did you have the right technical signals on your charts? Did you get nervous? Look at that buy signal coming in here pretty soon. Right? We talked about it. Solana, there's a day chart. You're about to get 4,000. You're about to get it. It'll break right here. Off it goes. There's your Solana, 172.10. It is struggling though, I will say. But this has look. What is it? This is the mispricing and pricing, right? What's this? What's the path of least resistance? To the upside. Right? Path of least resistance to the upside. It bounced right off those numbers. Look at that bounce. That's a super trend, by the way. If you're using TradingView, which we love, by the way, our partners TradingView, thank you so much. Yeah. Mike Shore, my man out there. How are you, my man? Thank you. I appreciate you reposting our stream. Love Mike Shore, the Prosper Trading Gang. We love them very much. They're a great group. Listen, if you get a chance out there, Prosper Trading is the team. We'll pull it up for you guys here. ProsperTrading.com. I'm going to bring that up for everybody so you guys can all see that. Please, please, please give them a follow. Give them a look. These guys are professionals. They've been in this game as long as I have. Some of them even longer. And there's my boy. you know, when you look at, I look back on my life and I look back at the market trends and how I got to where I am, and the friendships that I forged over time, right? There you go, profittrading.com. I can tell you right now that that guy right there has made a difference. I followed him many, many times in my life. So Scott Bauer, if you have not had a chance to follow Scott Bauer too, as well. We can pull up Scott Bauer's, pull him up as well too for you, for the if you have not had the chance to follow Scott Bauer as well. There you go. There's Scott Bauer's page. And I will give you Mike Shore's page as well out there. So please give these guys a follow. I know I do. Fingers are tight today. There you go. You follow each other. And I'll give you his too as well. There you go. Please give Mike Shore a follow. This guy has the great setups here. Hey, Laura, how are you? Yes, Scott and Mike are awesome. I agree. Yes, there you go. Those of you who are looking to go find some good quality education, this is good. And I will also tell you this guy right here, if you can see my screen, Charlie Moon as well, the Moon Man. So yeah, pull up Charlie Moon as well, of which we also follow. Disciple Trend, I'll give you all in this morning to go follow. Please go follow those guys. Give them a like, subscribe, follow, all those things, those fun things. They will help you change your life. So there you go. Kaboom. Love it. All right, let's get over those numbers. Let's make a new high today. I love this. Look at the numbers coming in that are following us today. I love this stuff. So we'll get back to what we're doing. I will get back to the charts. There we go. 116.5. I honestly, I think that for me, we'll share this tab instead. I think I'm looking at this right now and I'm saying, hey, look, the overall trend is the upside. I have had a pretty good run here on both sides of the aisle on this one. I do like this runs. I'm sitting on the sidelines here. We talked about that. Yeah, Charlie Moon's awesome with AI. Yep. Okay, so get back to Uber, right? 90.45. So if you were paying attention, right, what did I do yesterday that was different? I knew that I thought that sell-off was strong on Uber. Okay, that was not my hunch. That was my thesis. Not hunches. I don't have hunches. My crystal ball is still on my desk, still doesn't work. I don't have hunches. I have theses. And this is it, right? My thesis yesterday, and I'm going to pull up a 30-minute chart because Wall Street uses what? Numbers of threes. Threes are it. This was my thesis, right? So in the morning, remember, if you followed me, we were selling, right? Or we were buying, remember? And I was buying, and I was buying, and I was buying, and I was buying. My thesis didn't change. The price changed because I thought the zero DTE nonsense was happening. My thesis didn't change. So I kept buying all afternoon. I was buying. I kept going long, kept going uber long. Yes, pun intended. And you can see here that this morning on this, you can see the sell signal. This morning, I agree with that, right? So I'm going to pull up a 5-minute chart now, and that's what I saw this morning. So you saw me do it. I showed you how I did it and did it in front of you. So you saw that my thought was selling on the open, which I did, and right there. Now, I didn't get all the way to the top, which for those of you know, I had order at 90.50, but I kept that order on. Well, how did you get out at 91 if your order is 91.50? Whenever you have an order that's on the opposite end of the position, right? So in other words, my order would sell at 90.50, and yet the open is at 91. Boom. It's time stamped almost immediately. That becomes a market order because the market's on the opposite side, is on the other side of your position. So it automatically becomes a market order. Those are orders that I like, right? Because I'm telling the machine, get me a market order, but not just a market order because I'm in the wrong side of it. It has to fill me as fast as possible, right? I'm not telling you to put a filler kill order in, FOK, which by the way, I love filler kill orders. But it became, now look at where I'm at, 1950. This is where I wanted to get at. I got an extra 50 cents out of this stock, and you don't even want to know how many shares I had. That gave me extra cash because of that very reason. So that's why we did that, and that's exactly that was what I was shooting for. So, all right. All right, Zora, you got any stocks you want me to look at? Well, we got about 10 minutes now here to the top of the hour here. But those of you who are out there, restream it, repost, do what Mike Shore did. Repost my stream, get it out there. Ron Williams, repost it, put it out on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Go to the websites, go to the platform, start to sign up. I love it. We are growing very fast here, and I'm once again very appreciative of you people out there that are helping us build the dream of changing fintech and finance. We're doing it. We're actually doing it. The dream that I had for many years is happening, and it's happening now at a much faster pace than even I expected this. So I appreciate that. That speaks volumes to me. He reports now that the FBI is now forcing out 2 agents, including a former acting head of the bureau here. I will put that in a banner. Why is that a big deal, Big B? Why do we need to know what the FBI is doing? You need to know what everything is going on. When people tell me I don't need to know that data, I don't need to know that news, you need to understand that everything in this world works together, right? That when you look at data from Japan or data from Brazil or data from UK, it affects us here. There you go. Keep my eyes pretty peeled here for any new data coming out. There you go. See that right there? See that drop in Uber? See that drop right there in Uber? That's what I mean. That's what I mean right there. You saw it. Now the play here is, do we keep our eyes on Uber? Yes, I like this play here. I think the sell was a smart move. We saw that happening. There it is. Do we continue to sell? I think there are some people on the inside that are trying to get out. Boom, look at that. That was a huge sell to the downside. 50-cent move. Could drop even more. Yeah, here we go again. Look at that drop. There you go. Now it may drop below $90. Look at this. Is it going to hold at 90.02? Is that where the bottom is on the day? This is what I mean by keeping your eyes peeled on these things, because this is what you see right there. See that bottom wick right there? Will that hold it? I don't think so. I think we'll go right on down and test again to the bottom side. There we go. There you go. 90.11, 90.13, 90.12. Probably test the 90.02 here in a second. And probably will go right below it. There's 90.05. See? There it is. Just did it. And did it right in front of us. Right? 89. I had a feeling it would break below 90. And there it goes. Why? Because of all of my indicators are telling me what the weakness is. There's no buy signal in here, right? Continuing to slip here now. Now, as we look back, there's where the buy signals were early in the morning. So here we go. We're testing them, and we're there. So maybe go right back up. Because now the shorts are out now, right? And do we follow this trend line here? Yeah, a little bit of a bounce. See that wick confirms. We're turning here a little bit. You can see on the MACD here. There you go, right there. Live. Did it live, folks, in front of everybody here. Live. Yeah. Oh, Zora. Okay, so you're asking about what indicators I use. Okay, so let me tell you. I have so many indicators, it's not even funny. And I tell everybody the same thing. Learn every indicator out there. Oh, that's a lot of indicators. Yes, it is. It is a lot of. But if you're using the same indicators that you're using today that you used 3 months ago, you're probably using the wrong indicators because volume is different. Right now, I'm using MACD, multi-time frame. I'm using RSI, and I'm using Woody's CCI. I've also a lot of times have been right now been putting on linear regression. Linear regression right now has been pretty good. So right now I do like all of these. I will pull up my indicators section here so you can all see it. There they are. And here's the bar. So I use volume candles right now with good old Japanese candlesticks. And you'll see that I use Heikin-Ashi almost always. You can see on the indicators, these are my favorites. That's how many favorites I have, right? So if you need to take a picture, a screenshot of these, go ahead. I'll leave them up there so you guys can all see them. If you need to take a screenshot, and let me know when I can move that screenshot. I can do it again for you. I'll tell you, I do think Elder's Force is pretty good right now. I will tell you that I do like Elliott Wave. You can see Elliott Wave for me, and this is why I do like Elliott Wave. If you look at Elliott Wave on a daily chart right now for maybe I'll get the Elliott Wave Master on here for all of us. I'll bring him on as a show. Dear friend Todd Butterfield. If you get a chance to meet Todd Butterfield, yeah. Okay, good, Zorro, good. I have been teaching technical indicators for 30 plus years. I think 37 years now. When I first started learning indicators, technical indicators, I was given graph paper, pad, and pen. No pencil. I'm not allowed to use pencil. And pen. Thank God bless Jesse Curry. He taught me commodities futures. It's why I'm here today. So yeah. But they gave me a pad of paper, a graph paper, and pen, and said, go learn and mark it out and learn charts. And I taught myself. I do recommend everybody read Japanese candlestick books, the original books, because back in the day, Japanese candlestick started with following the rice trade, believe it or not. That's how it all started. And there were patterns that were found. So, yeah. All right, about 3 minutes here now, the top of the hour here. Anybody have any stocks that they're interested in? Let's get to it right now while you have me. But wow, we've had a pretty good morning here. If you were following us in Trading Well, you've had a very good, very, very good morning here. I know Ron's had a good morning. Ozora's had a good morning. Our boy Mike Shore's had a good morning here. So these are moving along. I will say, if you pull up a weekly chart of the there you go, Elliott Wave pattern. This is what they're expecting now, a little bit of the downtrend here, but then bouncing back. Longer term trends on the weeklies, on the monthlies. There you go. So these trends are starting to, if you were talking about it from the QQQ side of things, we'll lay linear regression. We'll lay my Gann fan on top of it, right? And Andrew's pitchfork. This is a pitchfork, by the way. Andrew's pitchfork is one I use almost daily. Because it explains Fibonacci to me. But I don't see the Qs pushing higher heavily. If your technical indicators are on, you can see we're very top heavy here. Very top heavy. So be careful out there. It would take some major news in order to push us. Now I will say that headlines will be taking over. But you can see where the Gann fan as well as Andrew's pitchfork, and I've overlaid good old fashioned Woody CCI down here is telling me that we're over our skis a bit here, and then of course the MACD and then RSI. RSI is floating a bit up here. You can see the float was up here a little bit, so we floated around. We choppy, right? But here we are, choppy again. So I'm not looking for a push to the upside. It would take major news like the whole world, tariffs coming off, and the world getting back to normal. I don't think that's going to happen. So unless major news like that happens, I don't foresee this happen. All right, it's 10 o'clock, top of the hour. We will be coming back here tomorrow. I appreciate everybody out there, and I will see everybody here tomorrow. We've got some good people coming on later today.